dark, there's no end. There is no end. I am the one you just told to go. I am the one you just told to go. I am the one you just told to go.
Range 503 yards.
Ripping me from you, I can't stop my mind. Words ripping me from you, ripping me from you. I'm the one you just told to go.
Hey guys, and welcome to Ozzie Reviews. Well, today I'm checking out the Sako 85 long range and 300 Win Mag. Now this rifle is available in two calibers. It comes in 300 Win Mag or 338 Lapua. So you've definitely got two calibers that are designed to really get out to that long range. Now before I jump in and show you the rifle, let me show you what comes with it. We do have the standard Sako 85 manual there, so it's got all the information you need in multiple languages all about the rifle. We've also got some sling attachments here as well that come with it, so that's handy. And we've got a little bit of advertising from Sako cartridges. And on the back there, it's certification of proof test and accuracy. So they say here, upon leaving the factory, Sako guarantees this rifle to have a minimum performance of 1 MOA or better at 100 meters with 5 cartridges. So it's quite applicable to this review, guys, because I've got a pack of Sako ammunition to run through the rifle for the review. I've also got here too, guys, some documentation on the Burris Eliminator optic, which I've got on top here. Now, I want to run through this because there is so much to know about this scope, and I thought I'd cover it in this review. So let me start off and just do a run-by of the rifle, okay, so you can see it up close. As usual, you know, it's just got that real beautiful Sako 85 feel and finish about it. And let's be honest, guys, you know, you pay big dollars for these rifles, not just the long range, but just Sako in general. So you do get a really good product for the money that you do pay. Now, the actual dimensions of it, the barrel is big, okay? It's 26 inches in length or 660 mil. It is cold hammer forged steel. It's free floating, 4 grooves and 1 11-inch twist for the 300 Win Mag. Now the overall length is 1,250 mil for this rifle, or 49 inches. And it does weigh 4.4 kilo or 9.7 pounds. So that's just the bare rifle. So, you know, to be honest, guys, it's not a rifle that you're just going to simply, you know, sling over your shoulder and walk around for hours. You know, it is set up as a long range rifle in general. Now the barrel here, I'll just go back and I'll show you. You do have the muzzle brake at the end. Okay, now obviously that's quite important when you're starting to talk about magnum calibers. At the rear too, you've also got a 1-inch rubber kick pad there, which is just nice and generous for the bigger magnum calibers. You've got the rear sling attachment at the back there, and at the front we've actually got double slings. So on this I've just put my Harris bipod. This is mine, it doesn't come with the rifle. And there's also an extra one there, you know, if you want to put a sling on at the same time. Now the trigger on this rifle is just like any of the other Sako 85s, just really nice, very crisp. It's a single stage trigger on this one, however, but it is adjustable from 2 to 4 pounds. Now you've got a 4-round internal fixed magazine with this rifle, and the laminate stock is just an absolute beautiful finish. You know, what can I say? Even when you look at the bottom there, you know, just with the Sako emblem, you know, it's just a feeling of quality, and that's what I do like about these sort of rifles. Now the bolt here, okay, we've got 3 locking lugs at the front there, and it is only a 60-degree throw, okay, so nice and short, so you can, you know, do some fairly fast follow-up shots, and very, very smooth, as with all Sako rifles. Okay, just look nice, just smooth as silk, very, very nice. So as you can see, when it is cocked, okay, we've got the safety just over here. We've got the indicator at the back of the bolt. Moving the safety back will engage it. So obviously you can't pull the trigger. You also can't open the bolt. However, there is a little tab just in front of the safety there. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'll try and angle it a bit better. Now you can depress that, and then you can actually lift the bolt up while the safety stays on. So I thought that was a really neat little feature. So in other words, you can still cycle the action, but obviously you can't pull the trigger. Okay, it won't go off. So you've got to disengage the safety, and then you can pull the trigger. But just listen to this. Nice and crisp, and that's a really nice trigger. Okay guys, so what more can I tell you about the rifle? We'll go into the actual action here now. It comes with dovetails machined into the receiver here, and I've got the Sako OptiLock bases on here because the Burris Eliminator is quite unique. It's sort of like got basically a Picatinny rail underneath it there that you can attach to the rifle. Now this optic here, Burris, as most people know, made in the Philippines. Personally, probably wouldn't have been my choice for the rifle, but guys, this was sent to me from Beretta Australia, so I am actually keen to give it a fair test and see how it runs. Now the best way to show you, because it's going to be very, very hard to try to show you the actual optic on the camera, is just to go to one of the illustrations here, and I'll show you just how this works. So basically, when you look through at the reticle, this is what you see here. Okay, so you've got a distance, you've got it in yards or meters, and then you've also, it comes up with a windage offset if there's a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind. Okay, so for example here, just to show you, it says here 1.4, okay? So for example, if you had to adjust for a crosswind and you had to come over 1.4 dots, so almost 1.5 basically. I don't know how you determine between 1.4 and 1.5 to be honest, but 1.5 dots, okay, left or right depending on which way the wind is blowing. Okay, so pretty straightforward. So you can change, as I say, like the yards and meters, no problem there at all. But what will happen is you get this holdover dot. Okay, now I'll bring it up to the camera a little bit more. Hopefully you can see that a bit better. Okay, you get a holdover dot and it actually lights up sort of like an orange-red colour. So what happens is once you actually sight this scope in for the particular ammunition, and you can select it from this brochure here, once you sight in at 100, what happens is then when you range at a distance over that 100, it'll actually range it. So for example there, you see where it's come up as 638 yards. Well, the holdover dot comes up and highlights there. So it automatically works out how far you have to hold over to make the shot. So once again, guys, we'll certainly test that out and see if it lives up to its, its claim there. Very straightforward when you do want to enter the details in. You've got the cartridge list here. So, I mean, look, honestly, you've got virtually every available factory ammo you could possibly think of here. So, that's a really big benefit in my view. So we just turn up to the 300 Win Mag. So, okay, so we got 300 Win Mag here. So, for example, okay, if we were using Hornady Custom 150 grain SST, okay, now they've got a drop there, a drop value of 115, so that actually goes into the scope, and you've also got your ballistic coefficient over next to it, which is 0.41. So how we actually do that is pretty straightforward. On the scope, we've got a couple of buttons on this side. Now this is the ranging button, so when you press that, it'll actually range the distance and it'll come up on the inside of the scope. If you hold down that and also hold down the forward button of these arrow buttons here, it comes up and it allows you to put in and scroll through the different options to enter the applicable data. So that's pretty much in a nutshell, guys, and it works it out. Okay, so pretty straightforward. One thing though, when I got this scope, you can probably see here, and I'll answer the question now, guys, because you're going to see it on the video, obviously. There's a bit of a gouge mark in the top of it here, and I've just gone over it just with the black Nico because it had gone right through to the actual aluminium housing on the scope, so I didn't want any reflection or it to stand out when we're filming, so I've just coloured that in. So if you do notice that, guys, I know you guys are pretty observant with the equipment I've got, so that's just what the go is there. Anyhow, guys, look, that's pretty much everything I can tell you about the rifle. I'm pretty super excited to get out and use this and see how it operates. If you are looking at one of these, like, not cheap, $4,800 rough retail price here in Australia. So obviously that will fluctuate depending on the competitiveness of the Aussie dollar. So, but still a very, very high-end expensive rifle. Let's get out and just see how it performs. Okay, so we've got two different types of ammo that I'm going to put through the 300. Now, guys, this is all I could arrange, and as you know, 300 Win Mag ammo isn't exactly cheap, so this is all we could arrange. We've got the Federal, the 150 grain soft point from the Power Shock range, so we'll see how they run, and then we'll go straight up to the premium here. We've got the actual Sako 180 grain Arrowhead 2 rounds. Now, these are absolute premium rounds, so we'll see how we go. First of all I'm going to do is just sight in at 100, and we'll see how we go with both different types of ammo and just the sort of group that we get there, and then we'll go out some real long range. Let's have a look at the results anyway, guys, with the group. Now, it's got about 1.4 inches, almost 1.5 inches with the Federal. Honestly, I would have expected a bit more than that, especially when we come over to the Sako ammunition. I mean, we've got, what, 1.7, maybe a little bit more, 1.7 inch spread. Now, that was my last shot, and I was really annoyed that that's where it ended up, but that's exactly the way it is in real conditions. Nice little cluster starting to form there, but as I say, the last shot sort of ruined that a bit. But anyhow, I think what I'll do is I'll use the Sako ammunition because it has a higher BC or ballistic coefficient, and we're going to go right out, okay? We'll just see what I can range with the actual Burris Eliminator at, and we'll just see just how far out we can get with the long range and the Sako ammunition. Alright guys, I'll finish up with my final thoughts on the Sako long range and 300 Win Mag. I mean, what a beautiful rifle. I mean, I can honestly say a lot of the high-end European rifles are pretty much the same. They're just quality and they last and last, and the Sako is no exception. I've only had a couple of Sakos now, and I can assure you I haven't exactly been disappointed with them. That smooth action, you know, I just love that feel of that high-end quality that goes into these rifles. Now, at first I had a little bit of issues with getting decent groups on paper at 100. I shot a group off camera and it was just absolutely woeful. Like, I'm talking well over 2 inches, even with the Sako ammunition. So what I had to do was just put some bore cleaner through it, and there was a fair bit of fouling and so forth in the barrel because, guys, this setup here is a loan from Beretta Australia, so it is ex-demo, it's been used before. I just tightened up everything on the scope, and then we were able to come in a bit more with the accuracy there at 100. I did find, however, the accuracy at 100, honestly, I would expect more. That's just my honest feeling with it. But I shot a bit more with it, okay, and then it just seemed to come in a bit nicer. It was just sort of like it was just settling into the round. So then we went out to a further distance, and I really wanted to shoot this at some extreme long range, like, you know, I'm talking a kilometre and so forth. I put the target out there at 700 to start with, and the problem was with the scope. That's where it let me down. And when I say let me down, like with the range finding option on it, every time I went to range it, sometimes it'd pick it up, sometimes it wouldn't. And I actually found that I had to put the crosshair above the actual target to actually range it. So it seems to have a little bit of accuracy problem at that distance with the range finding option, I mean. So what I did, basically, all the information went into this scope here for the load that I was using, the Sako load. And still, I just had problems because when I went back to range it, it would come up that it couldn't range it. You know, it was out of range or what have you. So it was just very frustrating. So then when I was able to actually get on target with the holdover option that's built into this Burris, I'd find that that wasn't right on either. Now, I'm not saying it's the scope's fault for that reason. Perhaps the data on it needed to be changed a little bit, and you can change the drop with it. But because we've got the longer barrel on the Sako long range, I dare say that's why I found it was actually shooting a bit high to start with at the longer range. So to actually get the review done for you guys, what I did was just simply brought the target in and we ranged it there at 500. So once it was on at 500, you saw the result. It picked it up every time and everything ran smoothly. So to use this rifle at greater distances, I wouldn't be recommending this scope. Okay, that's just my own personal feeling. And the reason I say it, let's face it guys, you know, this rifle is well over $4,000. Okay, now are you going to put a scope, a cheap scope on it? Well, no, you're not. You're going to put something that's going to mirror the quality of the rifle. So to me, that would be Swarovski, Schmidt Bender, Carl's, something like that, so that when you go out to those long distances, and I mean, if you talk to a lot of guys who are into like F-class shooting or any of that long distance shooting, you know, you'll see with them, they always use high-end optics, and because of one thing, the adjustments and everything are very, very precise at that distance. So for me, I just wouldn't put this scope on. If you're going to shoot, you know, closer distances, you know, 500 and back, like, great idea. It's a great concept, and I'm sure with a bit more exposure with shooting, a bit more entry with the data and playing around with it, you could really make it quite an accurate setup. But unfortunately guys, I only had a certain amount of ammunition to play with today, obviously, and I could only get what I could get done in the time. So I hope you understand all that, guys. So my final thoughts on it is, you know, what can I say? Sako is Sako. It just works. It shoots very accurately, but just make sure you put the quality on top that goes with the quality of the rifle. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. So till next time, we'll catch you then.